Welcome to Line Cooks Radio. This is Nick Kleifges with Steven Doman. We're reporting live from Arlington, Virginia, here to give you our college and NFL picks for this upcoming weekend. How's it going, Steve?
It's going pretty well, Nick. How you doing?
Doing all right. How's work today?
It wasn't bad. It's finally over, so now we can get to the fucking weekend.
Well, I got good news for you. It is Friday, and we got a great weekend of college football and NFL ahead of us. So we've kind of been going back and forth for the format for the show. We're going to kind of mix and match with a couple different formats. But today we're going to give you 4 college picks and 2 NFL. We just feel that it's a stronger slate of games on the college football schedule. And that's what we want to focus on this week. So, Steve, why don't you start us off with your first college pick of the week?
All right. Well, first of all, we'll also talk about a couple of the big games. I don't know if we'll have them as one of our picks, but we'll definitely discuss those later. For one of my first picks, I'm going to go with Iowa minus 1.5 at Northwestern. Both these teams have been surprisingly good this year, with Northwestern having the only loss in the beginning of their season. But I like Iowa on the road. They're 4-2 against the spread. They had a big win last week against Wisconsin, where the defense really showed up at the end. They're undefeated on the road, and Northwestern got beat down by Michigan last week, and I just don't think that they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I like that pick. The only problem is Northwestern is only giving up 6 points per game at home, so the under might be the play in this game. So my first pick of the week is going to be Memphis getting 11 points at home against the University of Mississippi. Memphis is riding a 12-game win streak. They are 9-0-2 as underdogs against non-conference opponents. They play in a respectable American Athletic Conference that includes the likes of Temple, Cincinnati, and Houston. Now, Ole Miss kind of scared me because they gave up. But if you look at their season so far, they gave up 149 points. Or no, they scored 149 points the first 2 weeks before taking down Alabama in Tuscaloosa. After that, they barely beat Vanderbilt, and then just got steamrolled by Florida. So, I think Ole Miss is kind of on a slide right now. Memphis' coach, he's one of the top candidates for some of these open positions, Maryland, University of Southern California, and my alma mater, South Carolina. So I think he goes in and he tries to get himself a marquee win over an SEC opponent to add to his resume. He can.
Also a feisty bunch. Last year in the bowl game, I don't know if you caught that, there was a huge brawl that broke out, so look for this one to get a little chippy.
Yeah, it'll get a little chippy, all right. But, if Memphis doesn't win the game, I think they'll keep it close, and I feel pretty comfortable with the 11 points here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Mississippi State, SEC team, everyone's rah-rah SEC, but
it's Ole Miss.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next pick?
I'm going to go with Oklahoma giving 4 to Kansas State on the road. Oklahoma had a tough loss last week against Texas and really could not stop the run to save their life. Kansas State doesn't really run the ball. I mean, they have had a couple of close games. They lost to Louisiana Tech, which was, a pretty bad loss. But I think that Oklahoma comes back. Stoops has got got his team ready, and I think they'll go ahead and win this one and win it comfortably.
Yeah, I like that pick. Louisiana. Speaking of Louisiana Tech, they're quarterbacked by Jeff Driscoll. That's another one of my picks this week.
Transfer from Florida.
Yeah, they're getting 13.5 points at Mississippi State. Their only 2 losses on the season are by a combined 9 points against Kansas State and a hot Western Kentucky Hilltoppers team. So I like Louisiana Tech in that game. That is not my second pick, however. I'm going with the mighty Bowling Green Fighting Falcons laying 11 points at home to Akron. They've covered in 9 of the last 10 meetings, and they're winning by an average of 17 points. This Bowling Green is one of the hottest offenses in the NCAA. They're scoring over 40 points a game. Quarterback Matt Johnson actually leads the nation in passing. He's completing nearly 70% of his passes. He scored 19 touchdowns to go with just 3 interceptions. Not only that, they have a balanced offensive attack. On the ground, they have 14 rushing touchdowns. Akron also 2 weeks ago, they had a tough loss at home to the Ohio Bobcats. So that tells you everything you need to know about this Akron team. So I love Bowling Green. I've been riding them all year, and I think they cover this week.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the first game of Tennessee versus Bowling Green, and Tennessee couldn't stop them,
Nobody
in
can.
the passing game. So they held that one close. If I were to pick in that game, I'd probably go with Bowling Green. Wait, who's at home?
Oh, it's Bowling Green at home.
Bowling Green at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go with my next one, Georgia Tech at home, giving 3 to Pitt. Georgia Tech has really been a disappointment this year. Let's see their record. They're 2-4. They're playing at home. They're 2-1 at home. They've had some pretty bad losses. They lost to Duke. They lost to North Carolina, and they've only beaten Tulane and Alcorn State.
They crushed Tulane, by the way. Covered a 42-point spread in that game. So.
I just see that. They play
Which proves
Clemson.
that they can step. They have the potential to rise up and have a strong offensive attack. So I like that pick, Steve.
Pitt. They haven't played really anyone that significant. They've beaten Youngstown State, Akron again, lost to Iowa, beaten a bad Virginia team, but didn't cover the spread. So I like Georgia to go out here and just pound the ball, run that triple threat option, and win this one at home.
All right. So my third pick is Oregon getting 3 points on the road at the University of Washington. Now, Washington's coming off a road upset against the Trojans, but let's face it, their quarterback was drunk. He's no longer with them anymore, so I think if he had been mildly sober during the game, Washington probably wouldn't have pulled that off. So Oregon has not beaten any good teams this year. They lost to Utah and Michigan State. They're actually coming off their worst loss of the season to Washington State. However, they have won and covered the spread in 12 straight games against the Washington Huskies. Not only that, but Oregon, they need this win. If you look at their upcoming schedule, their next 4 opponents, they are at Arizona State. Then they come home and play California. And then they are at the Stanford Trees. And we saw what they did to your UCLA Bruins last night, and it was not pretty. A wide receiver literally caught a ball on the back of a defender. It was unbelievable. One of the best plays of the year. And then they finish up that 4-game stretch back at home against USC Trojans with a sober coach who is not hammered on the sidelines. So Oregon's coming off that tough loss. I do not believe that they will make it 2 straight to their neighbors in the north. So I'm taking the 3 points with the Oregon Ducks.
And I like Oregon too, but I think that Washington, they're a good squad. I don't know if you want to mess with, Washington. They lost barely to Cal. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Ducks, brother.
We'll see what happens. The Ducks, they're desperate.
They played in the national championship game last season, so
they also had one Mariota. So
that is true. I'll give you that. But Vernon Adams is coming back this week. But I don't think he may come back. I don't think it matters who's playing quarterback for the Ducks. I think they go out and get this win. So that's that.
So my last pick in college, and it's a big game, so I think we're going to give a little discussion to this, but it's Michigan State. Michigan State getting a touchdown at the Big House. I don't know where this spread came from. U of M, they've crushed their last 3 teams. Haven't given up a point.
They've been playing great at the Big House.
Everyone's all on hardballs nuts. I just see Michigan State. There's so much publicity about U of M right now. Michigan State's kind of going under the radar. I think they're just going to go out there. They're going to do their business. They're going to beat the shit out of Michigan at their own place. And then, I like Michigan State. I like them with the spread. I like a money line. I love them.
So Michigan State this year, they are 6-0 on the season. They're actually 0-6 against the spread.
Close losses.
Close wins.
They've all been favored by huge points.
They have, but I have a couple different thoughts on this game. I think Harbaugh is 1 year away from beating Michigan State. Michigan State, historically seen as the little brother to Michigan, has won 6 of the past 7 meetings and has dominated Michigan in the Mark D'Antoni era. crushed them last year.
Crushed them 38 to, I think, like 12 or something. I mean, everyone's all on Michigan right now. They kept it close against Utah in like the first game of the year, but really have played, an overrated Northwestern team.
Crushed a bad Maryland team.
A bad BYU team that, was ranked because of 2 Hail Mary plays. I mean,
right.
It's a little skewed.
However, one thing not going for your Spartans is I think Mark D'Antoni, while his body is still coaching in East Lansing, I think his head is in Columbia, South Carolina, getting ready to take his alma mater's job and become the next coach of the Gamecocks.
D'Antoni ain't leaving, man. D'Antoni, he's not leaving.
It is a long shot, but once a Gamecock, forever a Gamecock. So we'll see if he can focus this weekend.
I like the Gamecocks versus Vandy, but I mean that's not one of my picks.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't. We're such a wild card right now.
Everything that's happened,
yeah. That's a game I'm going to stay away from. So it's going to be a great game this week. I think Michigan State absolutely has an advantage at the quarterback position. I think they win the game, but I got them at +8, so I feel pretty comfortable with those points. I think it's going to be a close one. Where are we watching it?
At a bar somewhere. We're watching it.
Always. So my last pick, another big game this weekend. I'm going with the Florida Gators over LSU, Leonard Fournette and LSU. I think that we're going to see a different Leonard Fournette for the rest of the season. There was a lot of talk this past week about him possibly sitting out a couple games or sitting out the rest of the year. With Nick Chubb going down with that season-ending injury, I'm not even sure he's going to walk again. I think that's certainly going to be in Fournette's head. Everybody's making a big hype about Florida losing Will Grier for the season. Yeah. They have an outstanding.
Yeah. Well, he was their guy.
Hey, he was just trying to get a little edge there. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying now. So I think that Florida's got a very well balanced team. I don't think they're going to hurt that much without Grier at quarterback. They have outstanding defense. I mean, you saw what they did to Ole Miss a few weeks ago. I think they just rolled somebody else last week. Everybody's getting killed by the Gators.
They're playing in Death Valley though.
They are playing in Death Valley. That's the only thing I am scared of. But
I don't know.
I love this Gator team, and I like them to get it done. Not only that, LSU struggled in a few games this year. I think it was they were only up by 2 points in the third quarter to an awful Syracuse team. Yeah. So not so sure about that. You want to touch on any other games in the college football sphere?
No, I mean I'm just gonna say with LSU, Fournette, the 40-year-old looking man that's still in college. I mean, the guy, he probably, how old is he? He's a sophomore.
20.
I mean, the guy looks like he's 40. As a sophomore, a lot of shit goes through your head, and you're like, he's just going out. He's going to play football.
Once he's on the field,
I think LSU will win the game. I think it'll be a close game. So
I think it's going to be a great game.
I think it's going to hinge on maybe like a crazy play that either covers or keeps the Gators within the spread.
Yeah. Definitely love the 7.5 there. So while we're on the SEC matchups, another game I love this weekend is Alabama at College Station taking on the Texas A&M Aggies. I actually love Alabama to cover the spread in this one. So yeah, I already put that pick in. Actually, got him at -4. But Steve, what are your thoughts on this game other than agreeing with your boy here?
Yeah, I mean Alabama's going to go in there. They're going to win. Texas A&M, they've been up and down this whole year. So I mean. Alabama, you just think they're always ready to go. They're going to go in there and they're going to shut down Texas A&M.
I think they take care of business also. Now, I don't think there's any other games we really want to talk about it college-wise. A week slate of games in the NFL this weekend.
Picks this week.
Steve here is actually a proud fan of the 0-6 Lions.
0-5.
0-5 Lions. While I am a tortured Redskins fan. However,
don't even think that you're down on our level.
They are chippy this year. The Redskins are staying in games. I love them to keep it close against the Jets this week. I think they're getting 5.5. So. Might have to ride my boys there.
I saw 7.
7. Okay, well that's crazy.
Cousins going up against Cromartie and Revis.
We're talking about a team.
Maybe getting Deshaun Jackson back though.
We're talking about a team who just 3 weeks before the season started, their starting quarterback got his jaw broken by a teammate. So if we go up there and lose to them, I mean they got a great defense, especially stopping the run.
I love the Jets. Fitzpatrick is just a killer. He plays with so much passion. I love him. I love to have him on the Lions.
The Harvard boy. So my first pick for the NFL week, we're going to do 2 NFL games. Shitty slate this week. So I like Cleveland +5 against Denver. The Broncos' offense has looked atrocious. I think Cleveland is looking to get their first win over Denver since 1988. That includes 2 losses to John Elway, the general manager of the Broncos, in 2 AFC Championship games. I think Josh McCown is hot right now. Yeah, Josh McCown is hot right now when compared to his counterpart on the other team. Peyton Manning has looked like a shell of his former self this season.
Like his age, he's playing like how old he is.
Yeah, he's old. He has no neck. So I think that the 5.5 points is a little inflated because the Broncos are the sexy public pick. So I'm going with the Browns as a rational better. And I think they get the win. They are playing at home. The game is in Cleveland, so I just think they take care of business and get their first win since the '80s.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to go against Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning.
Great defense.
But Denver this year, they've just kind of squeaked by. They haven't beaten a team. They close game against the Raiders, close game against Baltimore. I mean, they're squeaking out games. So I mean, at least Cleveland it'll be close, I think. My first pick. I'm going with the Vikings versus the Chiefs. Vikings are at home. They're coming off a bye week. They look pretty good. AP obviously is looking like himself. The Chiefs just had that terrible injury to Jamal Charles. I don't know how they're going to deal with that. Kind of going against a stout Vikings defense.
Sharkhandrick.
So I like the Vikings in this one to get it done. I think Teddy's going to...
What's the spread on that game?
It's the Vikings -3. Okay. I think it's -3.
So I think that if you look at historically the Chiefs when they lose Jamal Charles, they don't really miss the production as much as you'd think. He's a dynamic playmaker, but guys like Niles
Davis and
Charkandrick West. I think they'll fill in, and you can't replace a guy like Charles, but I don't think they'll miss him nearly as much as everybody thinks they will. I'm not sure about this game. I was kind of actually leaning on the Chiefs. I think I might have picked the Chiefs, but
just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see. That should be a good game, just like all these NFL games are. But I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as hurt as they were with as people think without Jamal Charles. So my next pick is San Francisco +2.5 at home against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 1-4. I'm not really sure why they are road favorites in this game. Baltimore has Steve Smith out. They're also hurt on the defensive side of the football with Elvis Dumervil, and Terrell Suggs is down for the season. I think in the beginning of the season, this was a new 49ers team, and it was they were looking for ways to mesh together. Some of the bench players are kind of stepping into starter roles and filling in. They looked great Sunday night. They were winning. They looked great for a certain amount of time Sunday night against the Giants. I think they continue to trend upwards, and I think they get I guess you could call it a big win at home versus the Ravens. I personally think it's a game that they should win. So not going to call it a big win, but I love them getting 2.5 at home.
Yeah, everyone, to begin the year, we're pretty down on the 49ers. Harbaugh leaving, and everyone's like, everyone forgot about Kaepernick. They come out Monday night, they beat the Vikes, and then, the week prior to last week, they play the Cardinals, and Kaepernick just looks terrible. He has a bounce-back week against the Giants. Unfortunately, their defense couldn't stop Eli Manning from going down the field and scoring to give them the win. But, yeah, Baltimore has also looked terrible, kind of like the Lions. But, they actually have a win. The Lions do not. So, Lions are playing the Bears, and I would not touch that game at all.
Oh, I thought you were.
I think we're going to win. I think
last night at the bar, you were all about the Lions.
Yeah, well, that was after a few drinks. Yeah. So, Usually that's what comes out, and
Only drunk people bet on the Lions. So.
I've bet on the Lions 3 times this year and lost every single time, so still haven't learned my
You
lesson.
also got that. Don't you got that futures bet? What was it? 300 to win 350,000.
Oh yeah, it's something like I think
It's not looking good right now.
me and my 2 other brothers, we bet I think 100 apiece at the beginning of the season for the Lions to win the Super Bowl. I think we would win something like $20K. That's still, I think 2 more losses gets us out of the playoffs. So we play Green Bay twice. It's probably 2 losses, but I don't know.
Well, hey, you're still alive as it stands right now, so it's not over till the fat lady sings. So now the main NFL game that we kind of want to talk about is the Patriots Colts. Line's been as high as 10. It's now sitting at 7.5. The Patriots are going to come out and smash the Colts, in my opinion. I think they've been killing everybody all year, and they circled this game on their schedule, and I think they're going to come out.
Deflategate. The Colts just started the whole Deflategate thing. I think they come out in Indy and they just put it to a very terrible and banged up Colts secondary. So I think they're just going to take it to them.
Yeah, I like the Patriots to pound the football. LeGarrette Blount has 7 touchdowns in his last 2 games against Indianapolis.
Deion Lewis is looking good.
Lewis is looking great. I love it. He's not a rookie, actually.
He's not a rookie?
Oh, no, he played in Philly. He backed up LaShawn McCoy. He's a scrappy little guy.
I'm thinking of Rawls.
Rawls is the rookie, yeah. He's good, too. Oh, yeah, the Chippewas. That's another game we were kind of looking at, but I read a lot on Buffalo today, and I don't think they just roll over for the Chippewas. So
is that a tonight game or is that
let's be careful with that game. No, it's tomorrow. I think it's a noon game. So anyways, those are our picks. They're we're not right all the time. Only 75% of the time. We can't quit our day jobs just yet. But
it's in the making.
It's going to be a great week of football. So hopefully we see some good games, some good football action, both Saturday and Sunday, and maybe we'll even win a little cash.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see how the records stand come next week.
Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We are signing off. This is Nick Kleifges and Steve Doman. Take care.